Hi everyone, we finally made it to Isaiah 53, or not exactly Isaiah 53, but the fourth servant song. Verse 13, Hine yaskil avdi yarum, venissa vekava me'od. So Hine, behold, sakal in the hifil, hopefully you can see the A vowel, I vowel here, means to succeed, or do well, something like that. So my servant will succeed, comma, he will be exalted, and then venissa is a consecutive perfect in the nifal, and he will be lifted up. And gava is another word for being highly exalted. He'll be greatly exalted. This language in the second clause is actually used for God elsewhere in the servant song, which is interesting. Now, verse 14 shows that this exaltation does not happen quickly, just as many were shamam, which means to be destroyed or desolate or shocked, just as many were shocked over you, addressing the servant. Now this next clause is a little bit tough. I think the best way to read it is, thus his appearance, and then work back to this noun, mishchat, in a feminine singular construct. Shachat means to destroy. So destroyed of from man, in the sense of his appearance is destroyed beyond human appearance. So just as many were shocked over you, thus his appearance was destroyed from beyond man, and to'aro, his appearance, from the sons of man, Cain, so he will yazeh, which is from nazah, which means to sprinkle. It's a hifil verb, a vowel, I vowel, and it's used in Exodus and Leviticus, elsewhere in the Pentateuch, to talk about ritual cleansing from sin. So thus he will sprinkle many nations. So on the one hand, people are just horrified at the suffering he goes through. But he sprinkles many nations with the result that because of him, kings will kafats, which is a rare word that means shut, they will shut their mouth. I think in the sense of shocked recognition of what the servant has accomplished. Well, why do the many, and why do kings move from horror at the servant's suffering to shocked recognition, if I've read that correctly? Well, because that which has not been told to them they see, and that which they have not heard, they bean, a hithpolal verb, to understand. So they understand what the full significance of the servant's ministry and suffering and death. If you read in Isaiah 6, 9-10, this is exactly the language of Isaiah's blinding commission. He is cluing us into the fact that spiritual blindness is finally starting to lift in the servant's death. Okay, to see how all this will happen, we've seen the eventual happy ending the servant has, but we don't know how the servant will get there. Isaiah is raising our expectations very high. To see how this will happen, we'll continue next week with verses 1-3.